Reinhard Müller, German Association of Automotive Industry, President Sanjay Kapoor, Automotive Component Manufacturers Association of India, Director General Rajesh Menon, and Director General Vinod, and all other dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. I am extremely pleased to be part of 14th IAA India Day, and of course it is my honor to be present here. Indo-German cooperation is and remains an important pillar of the global automotive industry, and I am very pleased that this year the focus of the event will be on Indo-German cooperation in the commercial vehicle sector. So I have prepared a small presentation to give you an overview on the Indian economy as well as the industry and what are the factors that are going to boost the industry in India. And so I will make that presentation. As you can see, Indian economy is now 3 trillion economy, and it is growing very well. And you can see on the top left hand side graph that our economy size currently last year 2021-22 it was $3.1 trillion, and it had been growing very handsomely, but for this drop in the COVID year. And still you can see the compounded average growth rate is 4%. And today we are the 5th largest economy of the world, and we have just overtaken UK. And per capita income is also growing, as you can see. And as India is now working very, very seriously to take this economy size to $5 trillion, so the per capita income also will grow very well in the coming years. And specifically on the commercial vehicle industry, which is there on the left hand side bottom graph, it is just an overview. I will cover more detail in the subsequent slides. As you can see, in 2022, the market size was 716,000, and now we are expecting very, very fast growth in this sector, and we are expecting that this industry will go up to 1.2 million by 2025 at a compounded average growth rate of 14%. So we are expecting a very high growth rate because the industry is at the rock bottom currently. And the sectors which are going to boost this industry and based on which we are very confident of this growth are the infrastructure sectors and real estate. E-commerce is getting stronger and stronger in the country, and then of course transportation and logistics, which is basic fundamental for the commercial vehicle market. That is growing because Indian economy is growing, entire auto sector is growing, so the need for movement of goods and services are growing. Therefore, the confidence level on this growth is very, very high. This is just an overview of the trends of the growth rates. As you can see, we had extremely good growth rates over a long period, right ranging from 6%, 8%, 7%. But for this drop during this COVID period, but we have bounced back very, very strongly. We are now at 8.7% last year, and going forward, these growth rates are going to become stronger because we are going to be, we are targeting $5 trillion economy in the coming years. And the entire automotive sector, it is very, very, very well placed. We are one of the top two-wheeler manufacturers in the world. We are the 7th largest commercial vehicle manufacturer in the world. We are the 4th largest passenger vehicle manufacturer in the world, and this stacking order is expected to in fact improve more and more in the coming days. Now, what is this business environment that is pushing the growth in all these sectors? I think there are 4 pillars of this growth. The top one is the self-reliant India, where we have now very strong resolve from the Government of India to boost this sector. If you look at, we have implemented one of the best integrated system of taxes, which is Goods and Service Tax, GST, a few years back, based on which our GST collections have now become very strong. Month after month, they are getting new records, and there is huge focus on substitution of imports that we call Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. Tremendous focus on that, and we have taken up a lot of schemes to boost the manufacturing, and there is startup culture there in the country, and more unicorns are coming up, and then the regulations are keeping the pace with this growth. The Government of India is very active in that, and as you can see, we have now the new vehicle scrappage policy, which is already implemented. We have a very strong central policy of Government of India for procurement of electric vehicles, and we have new emission regulations, which are the onboard diagnostics, 2 regulations which are going to come from 1st April 2023. And on the infrastructure, again, government has huge plans. The investment plans over the next 5 years are almost $2 trillion, 145 lakh crores. And of course, there are number of projects on the road construction which are going on, and next 2-3 years, out of this overall infrastructure spend, the allocation on road infrastructure is extremely high, and along with this, there is a lot of digitalization taking place, and there is a lot of digital economy, I can say, and a lot of focus on connectivity, a lot of focus on creating more and more customer-oriented services digitally, app-based solutions, remote vehicle monitoring and diagnostics, and of course there is strong movement towards alternate fuels, both electric vehicles, gas-based vehicles, as well as biodiesel, and of course also the hydrogen the fuel cell vehicles. So there is huge progress happening in all these sectors, and little bit more on the scrappage policy, which we have already implemented. There are around 17 lakh, 1.7 million medium and heavy duty trucks which are older than 15 years. Similarly, there are around 3.4 million light motor vehicles which are more than 20 years. Now these older vehicles, the tail emissions are almost 36 times higher than the current tail emissions of BS6 or the Euro 6 compliant vehicles. So that is the type of pollution that these vehicles are causing on the roads. And as you can see the bottom, both the graphs, the particulates in 2000 in norms, it was 0.35, now it is 0.01. NOx, it was 8, now it is 0.5. So when the old vehicles are prime, they are all polluting this type of gases, which are very, you can say, health hazard and the not environment friendly. Therefore, if we get rid of these vehicles, if this scrappage policy gives the impact, I think it will create tremendous benefits for the entire climate, as well as there are also direct benefits in the economy in the form of, you can see, there will be reduction in oil imports, which will be there because of better fuel efficiency. Then there will be, because there will be a lot of recycling of the metal, so there will be benefit of this metal to the extent of 6,500 crores. And then of course there will be huge benefit in the pollution control. So therefore this scrappage policy is not only good for the country, for the environment, it will also give a lot of boost to the entire automotive industry. Then CV demand, commercial vehicle demand is also expected to grow handsomely due to the growth in the real estate as well as the entire infrastructure development. And if you look at the core industries which are responsible for infrastructure, for example, coal or crude oil or natural gas or refinery or fertilizers or steel, cement, electricity. So overall, all these infrastructure sectors, they are showing very good graphs, they are showing very good growth parameters. And if you look at the road infrastructure, this is one of very, very high focus area where road construction per day kilometer. Now we have gone up to 37 kilometers of road construction per day, which is huge, and it has gone up from 23, 27 like that, with a CAGR of 10%. And of course the real estate sector is also going to grow multifold, which is currently at $200 billion. It is expected to go up to 650 by 2035 and cross $1,000 billion by 2030. So the growing Indian real estate market, road infrastructure and all these core industries which are growing, these give a lot of confidence that the commercial vehicle sector or the entire automotive sector is going to have good growth, and which will finally lead to also very good growth in the economy. That is why we are talking of 5 trillion economy. Little bit on the aftermarket, which of course Sanjay I am sure will cover more on the automotive components. Suffice to say that in the entire automotive components industry size, 20% comes from, almost 20% comes from aftermarket parts, and which currently are very strong and growing very well, and almost $10 billion, and we are expecting that next 5 years, next 2 to 3 years, it will be around $17+ billion, the replacement market for the parts. So this is going to be very, very strong, and of course all the sectors in the auto components are growing very well, and this is all because of the various factors like more vehicles on road, prolonged usage, increase in demand of second-hand vehicles, e-commerce, vehicle modernization, technology upgradation. Of course, we will hear more from Sanjay. Then, of course, the Government of India policies on the transition in future for the commercial vehicles. Specifically, there is a lot of focus on making them more sustainable, more greener fuels. A lot of focus on the electric vehicles, a lot of focus on the CNG, hydrogen and LNG. In the electric, there are incentive schemes. The tax rates have also been reduced from 28% to 5%, and government is having a very, very, you can say, concerted and focused effort to float, to get the e-buses, electric buses on the roads in various cities. And recently the Convergence in Energy Services Limited, which is the body for driving these green sustainability fuels, and they floated a tender to procure 5,500 plus buses, and they are going to come out with more buses. Very successfully completed that tender, and these 5,500 buses are going to be on the Indian roads in next few months. And then there is a production linked incentive scheme which government has come out with at a cost of $3.2 billion, which is again going to give boost to the new technologies. This entire incentive is for investments in the new technologies, in the electric vehicles as well as advanced technologies for electric vehicles. Similarly, on the CNG side, from the 900 gas stations in 2014, we have now 4,500 gas stations in the country, and the plan is to go up to 8,000 gas stations in next 2 years. And some of the cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Ahmedabad have large fleet of CNG buses. And similarly, vehicle manufacturers have also plans to introduce light commercial vehicles operating on the CNG. And hydrogen, again, there is a lot of talk on this, and our Honorable Prime Minister launched the National Hydrogen Mission on India's 75th Independence Day, and it is going to help in meeting the target of production of 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030. And of course on the LNG again, there is a lot of focus on setting up the infrastructure so that the heavier vehicles can be run on the LNG fuel. As you can see, currently all vehicles are basically run based on diesel. This medium and we talked about the medium and heavy duty commercial vehicles. There of course there has been some growth in the CNG run vehicles, which have gone up to 9.74%, and in the light commercial vehicles of course it is just around 2% only, and petrol is CNG is 9.5%, and now of course we will get some electric buses in the medium and heavy vehicles. We will get some electric buses, but as of now they are still fueled by diesel only mostly, and of course other than the commercial vehicle, we see more action in the two-wheeler side and on the passenger car side. There of course the ratio may be slightly better than this. Before I conclude, I will just give you an overview of the commercial vehicle market. As you can see, 2018-19 was our earlier peak year when we had a sale of around 1 million commercial vehicles, domestic sale, and which of course dropped to 569,000 in 2021, the COVID year. However, the thing to note is that the session had started before the COVID itself. 1920 was the year before COVID, and that year itself the industry had dropped by almost 30%. So the commercial vehicle market, which is a cyclical market, the recession started before the COVID, and of course now last year we had reached the pre-COVID level, 717 and 718. And going forward, as you had seen in the first slide, we are expecting a 40% CAGR. In fact, that is my own personal estimates. That is very conservative. The growth can be even more because there are a lot of factors which I mentioned in the earlier slides, which are very, very positive for the commercial vehicle sector. So therefore, we are expecting that this domestic sale of commercial vehicles is going to bounce back very fast. The story is not different if you look at the exports. Again, the export of the entire commercial vehicles, if you look at, we had 100,000 plus in 16-17, and of course this also had a similar drop, and this drop again started before the COVID itself. COVID was in 2021, and 1920 itself the industry had dropped to 60%. And again the recovery is similar. You can see we have almost 92,000 last year export of commercial vehicles from the country. So therefore it is following the same pattern as we are seeing in the domestic side. So we are slated for a good growth in the export sector as well. This is just to give you some latest trend on the quarterly sales. If you look at the top graph, in first quarter, in 18-19 was 230,000, which was the peak. And this year, we are already 22-23 first quarter. We are already at the almost same peak. So whatever we were saying, it is already coming true that the first quarter is already touching the new peak in the commercial vehicle sector, or it is very near to the earlier peak. And if you look at the medium and heavy duty trucks, here again it is 76,000 as against 89,000. So very near to the earlier peak. Whereas you can look at the COVID year and last year, the figures were much lower. And if you look at the LCVs, there again you can see it is almost the earlier peak. So fundamentally, what I am trying to say is that quarterly trends are also very, very encouraging. The industry is bouncing back and going towards the earlier peak, and we are expecting that this is going to grow very, very fast. And similar trends in the exports, you can see it's following the same trajectory, and we are very near to the earlier peaks, and of course the things are going to go better and better. So I think this was my last slide, and of course I'm sure we are going to have more and more cooperation between Indian and German companies, and this type of events which create much more awareness and much more motivation to do more and more work jointly between India and Germany. Thank you very much.